Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and this is tip 262, and I'm going to talk about cleaning up my negative thoughts. And the reason this kind of came up is that I do Law of Attraction with Zara Mahon, and we had group coaching last night, and we were talking about something that kind of related to me, and it's part of what I'm going to incorporate into my October recommitment. And I'll tell you what my recommitment things are at the end of this video. Doc V has challenged us all to recommit in October to kind of up our game a little bit and to kind of look at where we're at and what we can do to move forward as we move into the next months. And what I kind of realized yesterday is that we were talking in our Law of Attraction group, the Unlimited group with Zara Mahon. We were and I know I say her name in different ways, but I want to be careful because I love sharing my journey with everybody because there's an accountability in it and it makes me feel good. It really does make me feel good to share my journey. But I realized that lately my thoughts have been going a little bit negative because I can tell I've been getting emotional about some of the things I've been talking about. And when we were talking last night, it made me realize that my words are slipping a little bit. I'm going into old habits again. So I've got to be really careful because we know that through the training that we've done, everything in our life is directed by our thoughts and by the things that we say to ourselves, and by what we think is where our energy flows, where our thoughts go, our energy flows, where our attention goes, our energy flows. The seeds that we plant are the harvest that we sow. All these sayings, because what you speak you activate. There's all these sayings that truly are based on what you think is where you end up going. So I was thinking about it, and we were talking, and I wanted to understand, like, how do I share my story but make sure I don't get emotional about it? And she gave us some great pointers and some advice yesterday. And my story is academic. It's something I'm using to share, or it's entertaining because some of the parts of it are funny, but it's not emotional. It's not a tool to use to get sympathy. I'm just simply sharing because I want to be entertaining, and I want to also be academic or sharing with everybody. So what it made me realize is that I'm going to tighten up some things in October as part of October recommitment. And some of the things I'm going to recommit to are, I'm going to fine tune like my meditation and my thankfulness and my appreciation. And I'll say that last night before I went to bed, I put I am affirmations for weight loss on, just so I could kind of listen to them. Because what I'm going to do is I do pre-paving, which is something that Zara taught me. And it's where I say statements to myself like, I am learning to, anything like with weight loss. And off the top of my head, I forgot to write one down, but I am learning to enjoy walking more. I am learning to love being healthier. I am loving being healthier. Anything. Sorry about that. But I'm going to start putting statements together in my trusty old journal, the one that I use for like the positive statements for work. I'm going to put more positive statements for the weight loss journey so that I can take it next level. And I want to make sure that the thoughts I'm thinking are bringing me to the place that are going to continue to allow me to succeed in this journey. So that's kind of one of the things I was working on, and it really made me to kind of think about things differently. When I am talking or when I'm sharing stories, if I'm emotional, that's almost it's not helping me to move forward. So if I'm sharing a story, I need to shut it down if I start to get emotional. If I am academic or entertaining about it, then it's not gonna direct me into a space where I won't feel good. So I thought that was such a great thing to learn. And I know from my journey, my throat's a little dry this morning. I know that on my journey, if I start to get emotional about anything, meditating, thankful and grateful journaling, appreciation, and those affirmations are the tools that help me to rethink so that I can move forward. So I hope that helps you, but I know I'm going to be careful that I'm not falling into old patterns, because I'm kind of afraid that I'm starting to fall into old patterns. And I know that when I feel good, I make better decisions. So I'm going to kind of watch, and I'm actually going to kind of watch, like, even posts that people are saying, are they positive? Are they written in a positive way? And if I would rewrite it, and I'm not going to tell people this, but if I would rewrite it, how would I rewrite it to be better? Because I know that as I've been learning that, I've gotten stronger and I feel better. And I just think it's time to fine tune it a little bit for myself. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is Doc V has October Recommitment, which is just a time that we all kind of come together. And I better read close my homework from the last 2 days, because I'm sure he's telling us to change our pictures and stuff, and that's part of what we do, is we kind of recommit. And I thought, well, what are the things I'm going to do personally to recommit? And the first thing I decided to do is I keep baked eggs around, and this time of year it's really something I love to have around. And all I do is I put baked eggs and whatever vegetables happen to be around in and bake them, and I keep them in the fridge. And then when I'm hungry, if I'm hungry, eating a baked egg, it gives me some vegetables and it gives me an egg. And if I'm just hungry, then that should satisfy me. And I do my green smoothie and I do my salad every day, but having those handy, I know that if I eat that and I still think I'm hungry, the odds are that I'm not truly hungry, something else is going on. So I kind of use that as a tool. And I like the baked eggs because inevitably that will satisfy me. And I will cut them up sometimes and put them on top of my salad. And a baked egg, like I said, is just simply I put eggs and all kinds of vegetables. But what I'm going to do to kind of kick that up is I'm going to start adding spinach. I don't know why I never thought to add spinach, because I usually add peppers and onions and salsa. That's usually what I add to my eggs, and then I just bake them in muffin cups. But I'm going to add spinach because I'm like, wow, I know that my green smoothie is lettuce. I know my salad is lettuce. Why don't I add spinach to that? Because that's a good tool. And I'm going to try other lettuces too to see if they work in there, because we all know I can grow up to 12 and 13 types of lettuce at different times. So I'm going to try that just to up my eggs a little bit, to add a little bit more vegetables to it. The other thing that came up, and I've talked about this in my group with Doc V, is that I walk in the morning outdoors with my mom every day, and we walk at like 5 a.m. Well, it's been raining the past few days here, and we've been lucky for the past month or so that even if it rains during the day, it's been clear at night. Well, what we decided this morning, because it was misty raining, is to walk in the basement. Start that process now and see, can we get in a good quality walk in the morning at 5 a.m., keeping our pattern so that we keep it going forward. Because we like kicking it out in the morning and knowing anything we do the rest of the day is a bonus. But we got that walk in every morning. And we did it this morning. We did a path and we walked 4,000 steps this morning. We made sure we surpassed a mile on Map My Run, and we just made sure it also hit 4,000 steps. So we did that this morning, and now since we've already done it once, I can see little areas where I can expand the route a little bit by moving a couple of things down there. But now my walk is kind of been cemented, so I know whether it's raining, snowing, no matter what, at 5 a.m. we can walk. Then the third thing I'm going to do is, like I mentioned, my main reason for this talk is I'm going to clean up how I'm talking. I'm going to look at if my statements are positive. And then I'm going to also kind of notice, like when people are, not all day long, but if I notice a statement on somebody makes, say, on Facebook, I'm going to kind of look at it and think if I can word it better, just in helping to educate myself in being more positive in the thoughts and the statements that I say. So those are kind of the things I'm going to work on in this October recommitment. I'm going to also try to make sure, because I want to make sure I'm getting 30 minutes of reading or learning every day. Again, these are things that I've already done, but I want to make sure that I'm sticking with them, or I tried to up-level them as part of the October recommitment. Like yesterday, I was in training all weekend with Chris Noggle, and there was we were all sent a video link to a great video with Ron Eccles, and he actually is like a coach, and he kind of talked about the 9 steps of sowing a better future, so to speak. But it was a great video, so I made sure I listened to that last night and took some notes on it. And actually, that's where my quote about the seeds you plant that is what the harvest is that you're going to reap. But I want to make sure that all these things that are coming to me, that I'm not just receiving them and not acting on them. But so for me, I'm going to improve my baked eggs. I'm going to make sure that I'm walking every day, and we have got a basement route together. I'm going to look at self-talk and how I can improve it, and make sure I'm doing 30 minutes of self-improvement. Again, for those new to October Recommitment, I wouldn't say take on 4 things. All I did is take 4 things I'm currently doing and try to improve them a little bit, because I know that as I move forward, I want to stay on this journey. So I was looking at the things that I do that are the most helpful, that I want to make sure I keep doing as I move forward. So if you're just now starting something that's October Recommitment, just pick one thing that you can do and get into a pattern. And once you get that one thing down, then you can add something else. Because you got to remember, I've been in this journey for more than 1.5 years with Doc V. So some of these things I've been doing for a very long time. Zara Mahoon, I've been involved with her since February of this year with coaching. So a lot of these things I'm doing, I've been working with people for 1.5 years or more to try to keep me engaged in this journey. So, and Chris Noggle, that was where my Dr. Ron Eccles came from. I've been involved with him for over 1 year too. So remember that I might be cleaning up 4 things, but these are 4 things that are part of my daily life. Just pick one thing to improve so that you can keep moving forward. Hi, Eileen. It's good to see you. So I'll do a brief wrap up, but I want to clean up my negative self-talk. I want to make sure that if I am sharing my story, or if I'm sharing my story, because I've noticed lately I've become emotional about it. So that tells me I have to be careful in that. I want to make sure that I'm healing any negative emotions inside of myself, because I know that that can trip me up. If I'm sharing my story, which I do want to share with everybody, because it seems like it might be helpful to people, but it's also helpful to me for accountability. But I've got to make sure that it's entertaining and that it's academic, that it's not something that's driving emotions into a negative place, mine or anybody else's. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to look at statements and see if I could word them better. But again, I've worked with Zara Mahoon for the past, since February, on law of attraction and on self-worth and on improving how I word things. She's done a lot of work with me, and I'm so grateful to her. And then Chris Noggle and Dr. V have given me a lot of tools. So I'm going to make sure I'm looking at my thoughts and that they're positive. And then my little October recommitment, I'm going to improve my baked eggs by adding in some lettuces. Mom and I tested out walking in my basement this morning. We got 4,000 steps in, over a mile. So we're on the money with that. So cleaning up self-talk, I mentioned before, and then 30 minutes of self-improvement. I truly enjoyed the Ron Eccles video that Chris sent us from this weekend's training. It was an amazing video, and it would have been heartbreaking if I had missed it because it was inside an email and that I let it disappear without enjoying it. It was a great gift from Chris, and I'm grateful for that. So think about October recommitment, and maybe we can all share with each other what we're going to do to make our lives better. A big one for me is that working on the negative emotions, to make sure that I'm always thinking positive, because what we know is, like Doc V says, intellect high, emotions low, you move forward. But if your emotions get too high in a negative place, we're not intellectually high and we don't make the best decisions. We know where our attention goes, our energy flows. So again, those thoughts are going to direct us. And then, like Ron Eccles said, the seeds you plant are the harvest that you will reap. So be careful to make sure that what you're planting is what you truly want to reap later, which is something positive and supportive of your journey. Thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. And let's make October the beginning of many months of success and moving forward in our journeys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.